Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to join other well-wishers in congratulating Asiwaju Bola Tinubu for his birthday. When a Nigerian turned 70 years, I was asked to speak. And I said I wish him long life and not prosperity. I'm going to wish Asiwaju long life and not prosperity because I believe he has had enough. In view of the ongoing assault on the judiciary by a few desperate politicians and their cohorts in the legal profession, I find it extremely uncomfortable to accept the invitation to speak on justice and rule of law in this colloquium. But I was assured by Professor Yemi Osinbajo, one of the conspirators, that whatever I say on this occasion will not be used in evidence against me. 20 African countries are having their elections this year. 12 have had elections. Nigeria will be the 13th. But of all the 20, I can say this without any fear of contradiction, that it's only Nigeria where we already have 500 pre-election cases in court, and we're expecting not less than 5,000 post-election cases. Now, in such an environment, you really cannot talk of justice and rule of law in any settled form. Before now, elections and the results were decided at the polling units. But in a situation where election results are announced in Abuja, even when voting is still going on, we are bound to have many cases in court. Because of the failure of the Nigerian governing class to appreciate the role of the judiciary in the maintenance and sustenance of law and order, we have currently decided to expose the judiciary to ridicule for daring to rule against rigging and manipulation of election in a few cases in Nigeria, just a few cases. And I will go to some of these cases in a moment. But let me say, I'm being asked to speak on justice and rule of law. No doubt, these are two terms which are freely used by lawyers and judges in our country and members of the public. But their definitions vary from one individual to the other. And I tell you this experience. We're defending a notorious criminal, a very good client of mine. Because he was always in trouble with the law. Anytime I was asking for bail for him, I do not go to court like Professor Osinbajo did this morning by saying, admit my client to bail and that he has a good record. He hasn't committed an offense before. I couldn't say that of this client. Instead of saying that he has no criminal record, I would tell the court, my client has a good criminal record because he will not jump bail. On this occasion, he was charged with murder. We had got bail for him, but there were 3 of his boys who we really had difficulty getting bail for. I mean, sureties. We got bail for them, but we couldn't get sureties for them. We got 2, and they were out. Remaining 1. And very soon you will know the client I'm talking about. One day I was out of Lagos, and this client sent to my chambers. I think you'll be a Bolo lawyer now. How come you know if you get bail for my boy? I think one of my lawyers was moved. He then went to the man's commune and got somebody well dressed up, decorated him, powdered his face, and he looked responsible. To the Lagos High Court, they went. This particular judge would not grant bail in his chambers. He would do it in the open, the late Justice Aka. And as soon as the man appeared, say, yes, who are you? He gave his name. What do you do? I be trader, my lord. What do you trade in? I sell hot drinks, my lord. Would that include ogogoro? He said, yes, my lord. What of Igbo marijuana? He said, I did try, my lord. Now, because this is about justice, telling a Nigerian judge that you sell marijuana, Indian hemp, the judge threatened to jail the lawyer and the surety. But senior lawyers in court pleaded for leniency and asked the judge to temper justice with mercy. He did, but chased both of them out of his court. As they were walking out of the court, my colleague was angry with his client. And he said, why did you disgrace us in the Nigerian court? How could you have told the judge that you sell Indian hemp? He said, but lawyer, they sell now. The lawyer then went further. But must you tell a Nigerian judge? He said, lawyer, fella say make we know the lie. Now, the point I'm making is that as far as my lawyer was concerned, he wanted justice in his own understanding. But as far as this layman was concerned, justice was about telling the truth. If you are a criminal, tell the court. And that was what the lawyer, I couldn't understand. Now, I once traveled on the Lagos-Benin Road, Shagamu-Benin Road, and I almost died while I was coming back to Lagos. As soon as I got to Lagos, I filed a case in the Federal High Court complaining that the state of that road had become a threat to my life. Now, the judge listened to me and dismissed my case for want of local standard. And the judge, who happened to be a Yoruba man, said, Mr. Falana, why don't you bear your name? Falana, what's here? And I told the judge I was minding my own business by minding the business of the society, by promoting justice in the society. Justice Krishna Iyer, the leading Indian judge, the best judge India has produced, he's 92 now. Speaking about judiciary, he said, the myth is that courts of law administer justice. The truth is that they are agents of injustice. End of quote. Another Indian judge, a leading one, P.N. Bhagwati, who was a former Chief Justice of India, once dismissed fundamental rights that we, the elite, celebrate. And this was what he said. The large majority of people who are living in almost subhuman existence in conditions of abject poverty, and for whom life is one long unbroken story of want and destitution, notions of individual freedom and liberty, though representing some of the most cherished values, of bandied about in the drawing rooms of the rich and well-to-do. And the only solution for making this right meaningful to them was to remake the material conditions and usher in a new social order where socioeconomic justice will inform all institutions of public life so that the preconditions of fundamental liberties for all may be secured. End of quote. Now, this judge was speaking of India, but what he said is also very true of Nigeria. My colleagues, the two of them, have spoken very glowingly about the collapse of values in our society and the failure of Nigeria to make it. But while Mr. Agbaje pleaded passionately for deregulation, my other colleague, Mr. Alda, spoke about Dubai.